5 more questions to help you discover what tiny book you could write. Last week I recorded another video with, it's part 1 with 5 questions. It's in the link is below in the description of this video. This week I'm asking you 5 more questions, 5 questions that can help you find that tiny book idea. The first one is this, so this should be number 6. What's a short collection of stories or insights I could put together? What's a short collection of stories or insights I could put together? There is this idea that books cannot be collections. It's not that they cannot be, but I've seen many reviews on Goodreads where people say, this is not a book, it's a collection of blog posts. Nothing wrong with that. I don't understand why people are not, these books are not, they get criticized for, I don't understand why. A book can be anything you want, especially a tiny book can be anything you want. You can put together a collection of reflections, stories, short stories, anecdotes, opinions, a short collection, like 30 thoughts on topic that you like. Of course, it has to be useful to your reader, but so the question is, what short collections of thoughts or reflections or stories could you put together? Maybe that's where your tiny book is. If you've got a strong opinion, and this is question number 2 actually, what's something you strongly disagree with? When I wrote Any Language You Want, I wrote this book because I strongly disagreed with people who said, here is the best method to learn a language. No, it doesn't. The best method to learn a language, to me, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. So don't go and say, don't advertise your method as this is the best method to learn a language, because it doesn't exist. So I keep seeing, I keep seeing now people doing that, and so I thought, no, this is not true. This is wrong. I'm going to write this book, and I'm going to, I'm going to add my voice to the conversation. I'm going to say, you're wrong. This is what I did. And this is what I say in the beginning. I say, I wrote this book to rebel against blah, blah, blah. So what's something that you strongly disagree with? Something that you see in the world, on social media, and you think, this is BS. This is not true. This is total BS. Can you write a book about that? Because strong opinions, I think they're quite interesting to read. Someone who goes like, productivity is underrated. Sorry, productivity is overrated. In a world where we are all trying to be more productive, now someone says productivity is overrated, just an example off the top of my head. But, if you have a genuine strong opinion, you shouldn't just write a book, a controversial book just for the sake of stirring controversy. No, like, you need to believe in what you write. And that's a book that, it could be interesting for you and for others. What's something, number 3, what's something you know nothing about but would love to learn a lot about? Something you know nothing about, something that you would really love to learn. What's that thing? And this is a new concept for me, because it's something that I discovered when I interviewed Derek Sivers on this channel. And he wrote his latest book, Useful Not True, is about a topic that he wanted to learn a lot about. So he wanted to discover. So he said, I'm going to write this book. And he did a lot of research on the topic. It's a tiny book. I showed you in the previous video. It's there on my bookshelf. But you don't need to be an expert. This is the concept that was, wow, it was kind of, new. You don't need to be an expert to write a book on a topic. You don't need to be an expert. You can become an expert by writing a book on a topic, because writing will force you to do a lot of research on that topic. Of course, we are talking about non-fiction books here. I don't see how you can do that with a fiction book. Not sure. Maybe you have some ideas on this, but a non-fiction book, a topic that you know nothing about, you do your research. And I like doing research. I really like doing research. Like, recently a client commissioned an article. Like, he sent me this article to write, the brief, and the article was on Italian traditions. And I had to do some research into Italian traditions. Like, the article was 12 Italian traditions you should know about. And it was fascinating because I had to research Italian traditions, and I learned a few things, well, actually a lot of things about my own culture. So, and that was something that I was doing for a client. It's not something that I decided, okay, I'm going to write that article. It was something that was kind of imposed. Imagine something that you would really want to discover, something that, like, wow, I want to learn a lot about, I don't know, whales in South Africa. I don't know, are there whales in South Africa? Not sure. Write a book about that and see where that takes you. 30 fascinating facts about whales in South Africa. That's your tiny book. And you start researching, you go on Google Scholar, on blogs, on AI, you use whatever tool you want, and you write that book. And you come out as not as an expert. I don't think you can call yourself an expert on that topic, but, well, for sure, you will have learned a lot more than I know now about that topic. So think about that. Then, how can you make it easy for yourself? How can you make it easy for yourself? This is writing a tiny book, writing a book in general, is not something that was it was prescribed by your doctor. It's not that if you don't write a book, you will hairs will grow everywhere on your face. Nothing, it's something that you do for yourself and for others, but it should be, in my opinion, the way I approached any language you want, the way I am approaching my new tiny book that I'm writing is the same. I do it because I enjoy doing it. And I don't expect the book to break any bookstores or to break any records. I don't expect to make a lot of money with the book, because simply it's not how it works, especially for self-published authors. It's more of a self-development, creativity inspiring kind of project that you do, and you build authority with that book. With your tiny book, you will build authority, because writing a book is a way to build authority in a field. What was the question? How can you make it easy for yourself? So all this to tell you that because you're not doing this you're not forced to do this. It's not something that you do because you must do it, because someone told you you must write that tiny book by the end of the day. It's not imposed. It's something that you genuinely, I mean, this is I'm talking for myself. It's something that genuinely you want to do because you like writing, you like learning, you like helping other people with your words. And if it becomes a chore, if it feels like a chore, I think you shouldn't do it. I wouldn't want to do it if it's a chore. It's not a job. This is creative work. It's not a job. So how can you make it easier for yourself, in a sense that if you find it, today I have to write this book, like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. If you don't have time to write, so probably this question, it's a bit, not sure if this is the right question. How can you make it easier for yourself? Well, in a way it is, but I can tell you how I'm making it easier for myself now, because I told you I'm writing my second book. I do it first thing in the morning. I do it first thing in the morning. I've been doing it for 1 month and a half. First thing in the morning, before I need to reply to emails and do and work on the things that I have to work on, like work on. It's my job. This is something that I do first thing in the morning, between 7 and 9. Usually I start work at 9. What can I do in that time? Well, instead of reading, before I used to read in the morning, now I write my tiny book. It's my way to make it easy for myself. It's my way of making it easy for myself, because I know that during that time, usually 1 hour, 2 hours, between 1 and 2 hours, I am, I'm more productive. I know that I'm more productive. I'm less distracted, because then, emails, they start coming in, and then maybe I post something and then I get replies, and then I've got students to teach. I've got my clients, my content writing to do for clients. In the morning is the easiest way for me to tackle this project. Whew, I'm tired. Right, so the next one. What's the next one? If you could only leave one short book behind, one tiny book behind, what would I want it to say? Sorry, I'll say it again. If I could only leave one tiny book behind, what would I want it to say? And this question comes from a book that I read, The Beautiful Life of an Auschwitz Survivor. That's the subtitle. The title is The Happiest Man on Earth by Eddie Jaku. Link is below. I realized when I read that book that a person who's 100 years old wrote this book, and he wrote it before, like 1 year before dying. This is an Auschwitz survivor. He was an Auschwitz survivor, a 100-year-old man. And I thought, wow, this man died 1 year. He told us his story, and then 1 year later, 1 year after the book was published, he died. And I thought, wow, imagine if he had died before writing this book. We wouldn't have this book now. So I thought, wow, what am I waiting for? What am I waiting for here? I need to get down to writing. If it's something that is always in the back of your mind, well, tomorrow you might be not here. So what would you want that book to say? What's one lesson that you would regret not having shared, that you would regret not sharing? I'm not sure if this is the right wording. What's that lesson? What's that story that The world must know this story. Do you have one? Maybe you don't have one, so maybe this question is not very helpful. But if you have a story, or if you have opinions, if you know something that the world, you think the world, not the world, but a small group of people must know, well, maybe your book, your tiny book, is there. So, I hope these questions are helpful. It's a ramble. You can tell that I don't prepare anything. Things that it's just my way to vlog. It's my way to try to be helpful here. If you're still here watching, thank you so much. If you're new to the channel, check the other videos. And if you're writing a book, join my tiny critique group. We meet once a month and we share suggestions. There are 3 aspiring authors there. We're writing our tiny books. Links are below. I'm quite tired today. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm quite tired. But I wanted to record this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.